Welcome to Backstage with Becca with special guests Megan Grosso and Adriana Negron. Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of Backstage with Becca. On this episode, you can currently catch the Chicago College of Performing Arts graduate and Montclair State University graduate on the national tour of the Prom, where they are on the Ensemble and cover the roles of Emma and Alyssa. Please welcome Megan Grosso and Adriana Negron.
Hello!
Oh my goodness! I love that you all are so awake right now in the morning.
We got our coffee.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my goodness. How though? Because you all have a crazy schedule right now on tour.
Yes.
So.
Yes. We're just happy to be here. I think that's why.
Yeah.
Yay! Yay!
Thank you so much for having us. We're so excited.
Of course. I'm excited to have you all on.
How are you?
I'm doing really good. So how has to kind of get into stuff, how has this past year been? Because I mean, it's been a crazy up and down of emotions for you, especially with getting cast in the Prom tour. But before that, COVID happened, theater shut down. It was kind of a whirlwind for everyone in the theater industry.
Mm-hmm. I'll start. Yeah. So I was still in college when the world kind of shut down. And,
Wow.
I was in college in Chicago at the time, and I went back home to Montana to kind of finish my school year at home. And I mean, it was really sad. I'm not gonna lie. It was really, really tough. And I didn't really know what to do. So I'd always wanted to become a yoga instructor.
Ooh.
And I had a bunch of time to do it. So I finally got my yoga certification, and I did 200 hours of training and finally became certified. And then I taught dance at 2 studios in my hometown, and then let's see.
You did your cycling.
I did my cycle certification.
Oh
We've gotten to know each other very well already.
in a couple of months, because I don't know.
Right? We started on September 27th.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. 2
yeah.
months?
Yeah. And then, I mean, auditions finally started happening again. And so that's kind of where we're at. I mean, a whole year of wanting to do theater again and just trying to do that side job in the meantime.
While trying to keep up with all the dancing, singing, etc.
Exactly. My journey was a little bit different. Before this, and before the pandemic, I was with Cats, and I played Rumple Teaser, and I was a replacement. So I was only there for a little bit. And then we were in Canada at the time, and they were like, okay, we're just going to go home. Everyone go home for 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
So I was like, okay, we left a lot of our stuff behind because we were really convinced that we were going to be back in 2 weeks. So then I flew home. I was like, you know what, this is okay. I'm going to see my family. So then obviously 2 weeks turned into a year and a half. So it was really hard for me because the show was supposed to close in June. So then once June came around, we were like, okay, this is really it. This is really over. And that was a hard feeling. It was hard because there was no closure for the show.
Yeah.
In Cats, there's this tradition that when you're leaving the show, you go through the oven. And that's the last, So none of us got to go through the oven. There were all of these unfinished things that we didn't get to do. So it felt like a huge loss. But I mean, 90% of the time I'm a positive person. So like Megan, I got involved in other things. I taught at 3 different dance studios. I taught virtually. I got to work with kids that I would have never met in regular life. kids in Indiana, kids all over the place, just teaching dance virtually. So that was so special. I also worked at a cycling studio at the front desk.
Hey.
I didn't cycling's not my thing. I learned that the hard way, but cycling is hard.
It's hard.
But you get to meet new people, and honestly, like it made me more passionate for theater. I'm like, oh, I just can't wait to get back in there and like to do what I do. Like I'm just doing whatever right now. And it just felt so great when auditions started to come back. And then the prom, my agent sent me the audition for the prom, and I'm like, this would be so much fun. Like I love this show. The Netflix movie came out. Like it's such a good show. And I wasn't expecting to get it. And we were just saying, we both are like, wait a second, we're here together doing this interview, and it's so surreal. But I'm so grateful, and all of the time in between doesn't matter because we're here right now.
Yes.
Good things. I mean, the pandemic that we're still in, I mean, brought a lot of hardships, but it did also bring a lot of positive things.
You got to find the silver lining.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which, I mean, everything happens. Everything happens for a reason believer. And it's like kind of unfortunate. Like this pandemic, no one wanted this to happen.
No.
But things that happened during the pandemic, some things happened for a reason. Or like, there's journeys that happened during that pandemic, growth that happened, etc.
Absolutely.
So many silver linings. So before I get into the prom, when did you all realize that you wanted to perform and you wanted to be on stage and entertain people?
You know. You want me to start? Okay. Yeah. Well, let's see. Going way back, I started dancing when I was 3. And then I grew up a competition dancer. So I mean, I was mainly a dancer growing up.
Yes.
Yes. I started doing competitive dance in the 5th grade and did it all the way through my high school graduation. And in the meantime, like in middle school and high school, I started doing the plays and the musicals at school. And I didn't really realize that theater was an option as an occupation. And so let's see, I think it was my junior year of high school. I met with someone and she said, yeah, you can do theater for a living. And I said, okay.
Like, okay, cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, I always loved being on stage. I loved dancing. I love dancing and performing. And she's the one that really opened my eyes and said, you can do this for a living. And so she helped me get into college programs and here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Well, same for me. I started at 3 with dance. My mom owns a dance studio, so it was like a no-brainer that I was going to take dance. So I got enrolled in dance, and I was doing ballet and tap. And then my older sister, she was involved in theater, just locally. And then my mom got me involved, and I was like 6 at that point. And I did Wizard of Oz. And I remember it pretty vividly. And then they needed a younger person to be in one of the main stage shows. And when I got to work with these older actors, it was like a no-brainer. It was like, okay, I want to be them. Like I admired those older performers so much. And then from then on, like, I just knew what I wanted to do. I stayed in voice lessons. I stayed in dance. I was taking acting master classes and workshops. And then I went to a performing arts high school, which really prepared me and set me up for college. And then I continued to pursue it through college, and now I'm here. So it's all about hard work and dedication. You have to dedicate your life to this, you know?
Yes. Isn't it funny though how like when we're kids, we do look up to the older people so much. Like when we're like 7, like 14 is like the older, like the cool older kid that you're like looking up to. I used to do theater shows. I'm more behind the scenes now. But I just remember like doing Alice in Wonderland, and the people in the older class and doing all the like lead roles. I was like, I want to hang out with you all even though I'm not in your class. Like, and I felt so cool because they let me like hang out with them sometimes.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I'm part of their group. It was like a whole thing, and I was like, so I like looked up to them so much. It was, but it's, I mean, kids look up to when you're 14 is so grown up.
Yes.
So what was the first theater show you ever saw that made you realize, okay, I want to like do this?
Ooh, okay. I have two memories that are like neck and neck. I remember seeing Thoroughly Modern Millie
Ooh.
and being like, oh my God, this tap dance is like insane. And I was just mesmerized by that.
Yeah.
And then I also remember seeing Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Yeah, I'm showing how old I've become. No. So I remember seeing that and asking my mom, wait, these kids are on Broadway? And she's like, yeah, like there are child actors and like you can be a child on Broadway. And I remember being mind blown that like that's their life. And those two shows are like, they stick with me because I feel like they are the ones that inspired me. And then as I grew up and like, I always had this passion. So I guess at some point maybe it fizzled, but it was always there. And then I saw Wicked.
Yes.
And I was re-inspired. And I was just like, okay, yeah. Any doubt in the world, I'm leaving it behind. This is what I want to do. Because shows like that are just amazing.
Yeah.
Magic.
Yeah.
Pure magic.
I'm trying to remember what the first show I saw was.
Think back.
I'm sure I saw some.
How many they all
I
go
saw some like community theater stuff, but I don't remember those as well. But the very first professional show I saw was the Phantom of the Opera in Vegas.
Ooh, Vegas edition.
Yeah, Vegas edition.
Ah.
Oh, and I just remember being blown away. When the chandelier just like drops and swings, and I was blown away. And then let's see, the first two shows on Broadway I saw were Wicked,
Yes,
and Newsies. And I mean, those two shows,
Newsies,
they're just incredible.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I think I was in middle school when I saw Phantom, and a freshman in high school when I saw the other two. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God, Newsies, like when you watch Newsies, you're just like, what? Like
It brings you so much
non-performer,
joy. Oh my goodness.
I'm just like, okay, this is like like the whole package, just everything.
Yes.
And Wicked too, obviously. It's like it's absolute magic. Can watch it over and over again.
Yeah. What was the first show that you saw?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like it was probably like the first professional show was probably like The Lion King.
Yeah.
But I think like the first thing that got me into musicals was Annie.
Nice.
Because I used to watch it over and over again as a kid and probably sing off tune in my living room to it. And my parents were probably like, when can we like burn this VHS so she never sings again in our living room? No, they loved it. They loved my performances in my living room. So this especially applies to Megan because she was in school when this whole thing started.
Yeah.
But this has been like a difficult year for people who are going to college to pursue theater because everything's gone pretty much virtual. Do you all have any advice for picking out for kids going to college and wanting to pursue theater and like how to pick out a college that's right for them and how to make the most of their time at college and performing?
In terms of picking out a college that most suits you, I mean, there are a bunch of programs out there that are geared towards mainly acting or musical theater with a dance emphasis. And the programs that I was looking at had mainly dance emphasis programs. So Since I grew up mainly a dancer, I wanted to go into a program that had a lot of dance and also get the acting and singing chops as well. So finding the program that best suits your skill set. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I mean, I've been out of school for a little bit now, not too long. And I did the same thing. I looked for schools that were going to challenge me in the dance world, because I felt like when I was doing a lot of research, a lot of schools start everyone off at the same level, dance-wise. And if you're going in with 15 years of training, you want to be able to dance with the dance majors or take a harder level. So I would suggest to anyone looking at schools to compare everything, write everything down. What does this school offer? What classes do they offer versus this one? And just do a side by side, and hopefully it'll be clear to you which one best suits you. But do it thoroughly and take your time, really.
Yeah, I think like when like you find a school that's meant for you, you're like, okay, like I've been looking for this program, like this exact program, like kind of.
Mm-hmm.
It might take a little bit, but you feel it.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of programs also show like the curriculum on their website.
Yeah,
so you
that's
can
what I'm
look
saying.
in advance and see all the classes that you'll be taking throughout your time there. So that really helps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can also ask for help too. Like I had a coach help me find the programs that best suited my needs.
You can, and I know right now a lot of musical theater departments have Instagrams for that specific school. I went to Montclair State and they have a musical theater page. And I'm sure if anyone were to DM them and be like, hey, do you guys offer this, this, and that? They would write back in no time, because that's the beauty of having social media now. It's like you can get information like that.
You can get a feel from programs on social media when they have social media too.
Until their energy
and be like,
everything. It's great.
Yes, exactly. So I want to ask you, what's your favorite style of dance?
Ooh, I think mine is jazz for sure.
Mine is jazz, and almost for a tie is tap.
Ooh. Oh my goodness.
I love jazz. I mean, I was never a ballerina. My mom was a ballerina, and it was something I would have loved to do, but I just feel like my personality matches with jazz. So it's more of a full body experience for me. And it's a little bit more forgiving and free, and you can be individualized. And that's what I love about it.
Ooh. But I feel like ballet is kind of like the starting point, and like once
you gotta do ballet. If you want to succeed in any style of dance,
ballet will help you with every style.
Yeah, the technique and stuff. That's what I feel like.
Oh, for sure.
So getting into the prom, speaking of dancing, because the prom has, for anyone who didn't see it on Broadway, hasn't seen it yet, has insane dancing in it. And it was just mind blowing when I saw it on Broadway. What was your audition process like for the prom?
We were just talking about this. Do you want to start?
Sure. For me, my agent sent me something virtually. He's like, hey, submit for this. And I'm like, yes, the prom. Okay, for sure. And basically I got what they would call like a packet. So we had to do a dance combination, had to do a couple scenes, a song from the show, and then a song of your choice. So basically the video, we had to self-teach ourselves the choreo, and then record it. And then from there, we would get called in to go in person, and then in person again, and until you book the real thing. So that's what my experience was like.
Yeah, and I had a little different of an experience. I don't have an agent, and so I was looking online for different casting calls and saw that the prom was casting dancers who could sing. And so I learned the dance call, filmed it, sent it in, and about 2 weeks later, I got a call back to do a song of my choice. And then couple days later, I got another callback to do some songs and scenes from the show. And then a couple weeks later, I got an email saying, we're going to need you to come into New York for some in-person callbacks. Went in for in-person, met you.
Know each other.
There. Yeah. And then I stayed with a friend for a week in New York and then had the final callbacks. And then I booked it the next day.
Yes.
When you get to the final callbacks, does it like hit you then that like, okay, this is like, there's a really good chance like this can happen? Or are you still like, okay, I gotta go and act like it's the first?
Because if I let myself think like that, then it affects my performance. So I treat it like any other audition, and hope for the best. But when you start to see that the groups are smaller, the stakes and the level of competition it's higher.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you start to see familiar faces, people that you've been in the room with a bunch, like me and Megan were together. And then I just try to stay as calm as possible. And then when I get the call, oh, you booked it, then I can freak out.
You got a call? Yes! You got an actual call?
Well, from my agent called me. Did you get an email?
I got an email. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. And you're like clicking on the email slowly, like, what does it say inside?
I had just gotten out, let's see, I was going to a Broadway show. It was like the first Broadway show that reopened. It was the Passover.
Oh.
And they were
Oh.
doing previews.
Oh.
But it was my last night in the city, and I was like, thank you for like hosting me for a whole week. I'll take you out and we'll go see a show. And we got out of the show. We were walking home. We were gonna get dessert. And I opened my email and just started crying on the streets of New York.
Yes. What was
you cry?
Oh my God. Just tears of joy.
Oh my goodness. And when did you find out, Adriana?
I found out a couple days after my final callback. I want to say like 3 or 4 days after.
Really?
Yeah, I guess maybe because I have an agent, it took a little bit longer because they couldn't directly contact me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I found out, I was actually going to the cycling studio and it was pouring rain, and my agent's like, hey, do you want to go back on tour? And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, you booked the prom.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my God. Like, I just felt this lump in my throat because this is all I wanted throughout the whole pandemic is, okay, like, will I be able to book another job like Cats? Will I get the opportunity to do this again? And it just was like a full circle moment. And like the world still isn't back to normal yet.
Right.
But for 1 second, everything felt normal again. And
Like pre-2020.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like normal is kind of like pre-2020.
Yeah.
But now normal is like going and seeing masks everywhere, etc. And I'm getting kind of used to that. I'm like, okay, like this mask thing is going to be normal for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But hey, if that's what it takes.
Yeah, exactly. To keep
you're
us
back. Yep. So how does one prepare to hit the road and go on tour? I know Adriana has done it 3 times.
Oh, well, yes. I did Cats, and then I did a show in Tokyo for 3 months. So I had to pack for that. And then I did a show in China for a little bit. So those were more stationary, but still halfway across the world.
Yeah.
So very different. But as far as packing for like a national tour, you just got to be prepared for anything. So like we get trunks, really big like trunks that we can put extra stuff in. So you have like your bigger coats, your winter boots, and then summer clothes and bathing suits. And you know, some people travel with humidifiers or steamers and crock pots and
Love it.
cookers. And you're gonna want to bring whatever is gonna make you feel the most like you. So like those items that are so important to you, whether it's a blanket or, you know, your favorite clothes. So I actually didn't pack as much as I did for Cats because I think I learned a lot of what I didn't need for Cats. So I downgraded.
Nice.
Oh, you're like proud of myself.
2 suitcases. You're allowed 2 suitcases, 2 large ones 50 pounds each. So
yeah, so we're good. And your carry-on.
Yeah.
So like
Okay.
that's separate, and then you have your trunk.
in your trunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'd be a little stressed out, even with 2 suitcases, like deciding what to bring from home.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, packing squares changed my life. If you order packing squares, you can organize everything and then like keep it neat in your suitcases.
You can just take them
Yeah,
out.
you can take them out, put them in your
put 'em back
drawers,
in.
take them back. Yeah. We've been spoiled because we've been in Cleveland for like 3 weeks
This is
now.
our third week.
So we like unpacked, but typically we'll be in a city for like 1 week at a time.
So you have to like pick and choose what to unpack in that city. Which
Yeah.
is kind of stressful too, because like then like you like are like, wait, do I really want this shirt or do I want this shirt?
Right.
With these jeans. I mean, I know from vacation experience, 5-day vacation experience, I'm like, wait, I forgot like this would have looked so cute today. Or I need to go to the nearest Target and shop.
Yeah.
If it's like a cold city, you could just bring out your like
Winters.
warm,
Mhm.
you know, like
Winter
warmer
things.
clothes. But if you're in, I don't know,
We're going to Florida.
Florida,
Mm.
you just keep your shorts and your tank tops and all those things. So
Yes. It's crazy because you all are in like different environments every week where the weather changes constantly.
Yeah.
How do you, I mean, does that affect health? And how do you, have you learned to keep up with your health? How do you stay healthy?
Actually, when we first got to Cleveland, I was so under the weather with like allergies, you name it, I probably had it. Just because, where were we before? Kentucky.
right.
Kentucky was warmer. So when we
Weather.
came here, it was like the weather was so different that I think that's what just got me sick. So it's been hard. I steam and I like neti pot and I drink tea and all of that, but it is tricky going from different temperatures and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, also the weather, I mean, it can be dry, it can be more humid, and so that affects your voice. Or
Yeah.
if it's colder, you know, your body is a little more stiff. So you have to make sure you do a nice warm up to make sure that you're protecting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard like the West Coast, like it's especially like Vegas and places with like altitude, like higher altitude, really affect
Yeah.
health and stuff. Yeah, that's what I've heard. So what was the rehearsal process like, and how soon after you all left to go to the like where the tour was rehearsing did you start rehearsal process?
We rehearsed for a month,
3.5
3.5 weeks in the city.
in New York.
We learned a lot really, really fast.
Yeah.
They just taught us everything, and then we went back and cleaned.
Yes.
And I kid you not, like we were all like, oh my God, we are so overwhelmed because no one has worked their muscles in this way in so long because of the pandemic. So like none of us were dancing really like that much, and none of us were, you know, engaging our mind that much. So it was overwhelming in all aspects.
Mentally, physically,
Yeah.
emotionally.
I mean, our first day, because we have work from like 9 to 5 or 10 to 6, whatever. We danced that entire first day. We did
our Act 1 finale.
Tonight Belongs to You
day.
all day.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We were so sore.
We were sent all of our music
ahead of time.
And so our first 2 hours, I want to say,
was just cleaning.
We sat down, we sang through every song in the show.
Everyone knew, everyone was so
knew
prepared.
Everything.
That's the beauty of like professional theater. It's like everyone's ready to work. So we got ready to work. We cleaned our songs because we all had taught ourselves with the tracks. And then after that, we went to lunch and then we started dancing. And we were going through it. But then by the end of the 3.5 weeks, we were in shape. Like it happened so fast.
Yeah, we did Act 1 the first week of rehearsal. We did Act 2 the second week of rehearsal. And our last week was just cleaning.
Yep.
Going back, really getting all the details,
and then
cleaning our vocals a little bit more.
We went to Kentucky. we teched the show. So we did the lighting, and it was our first time dancing in costumes with wigs.
So fun.
And then how long did we tech before we did our first preview?
I want to say a week. And then we did preview on like a
Friday. We previewed, and the cast of The Grinch came to see us, which was so cool.
It was such a fun energy.
And then after that, we left to come here. And now we're on our 17th.
We just had our 17th show last night.
Oh my goodness, getting to 20 soon this week.
I know. Yes. Well, when we got to 10, we were like, oh,
yeah.
This is real. This is actually happening.
I know.
But it probably still doesn't feel real.
It really doesn't.
I feel like I'm dreaming sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it seems so unobtainable at, a point in time. And now that we're actually here doing it, it's like, wait, is this real? But it is.
Even the entire rehearsal process, every day I was just thinking, I just don't understand how I'm here right now. I can't grasp the fact that we're here and rehearsing and performing and just surrounded by this wonderful creative
and doing
team.
this show.
Yeah.
It's like this show is so important.
Yes.
And
yes.
it's so like relative to life right now.
It really, really is. What had you all heard about the prom before you got cast in the show?
Well, I didn't get to see it on Broadway, unfortunately. My only association with the show was the Netflix thing,
which was done beautifully.
Which was great.
It was great.
But the only thing that I really knew about it was like it was directed and choreographed by Casey Nicolau, which is someone that I really admire and always wanted to work for.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew the dance was going to be crazy, and like dance is what me and you do. So I was like, okay, like yes, this is a good show. And I typically don't get cast in modern day musicals. So this is my first like contemporary show outside of college, which is really exciting. Like
mine too.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Yeah. Usually I do like Golden Age.
Yeah.
Same for Megan.
Yeah.
So this is exciting. We get to be young. We get to be in high school. We get to go to prom every night.
Yes.
Twice every night.
Twice.
Oh.
Yeah, that's all I really knew about it.
I also did not get to see the show on Broadway. I think my first experience with the show was seeing it on the Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Same.
And seeing that, what was it? I just wanted it was the finale.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was such a monumental moment.
It really was.
A lot of people were really like, oh my God, this show is making a stand, like a positive impact on the world.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, yes,
it's about time.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to say that was my first experience seeing the show, and I had seen videos online for promotions of the show. Yeah. And then I saw the movie this past year.
But now it's so different because we're in it. And like my whole perception of the show is just so different.
But I mean, it's such a fun, upbeat show for most of the show. Like, of course, like there's like the points in the show where you're gonna be like a sobbing mess, etc. And there's conflict in the show because every show needs conflict in a like resolution.
Yes.
So, but the costumes, everything, like it just makes you want to go back over and over again and like go and just party with everyone in the audience and the cast. Like the costumes are so colorful and bright.
Yes.
It really feels like a party or a prom, or like you're at your high school prom, or better than a high school prom.
I know. I love getting to wear those costumes. Like our prom dresses, everything is so much fun. And all of the costumes are so detailed.
They really are.
But even the set, like this whole show is just so detail oriented. Everything has glitter. Everything has sparkles. And it's so much fun because it's not every day that you get to do a show that's so positive. Because theater is supposed to make you feel things. So with this show specifically, you get to feel things,
All
and
the
then you also get to enjoy yourself and have a great time. By the end of the show, everyone's on their feet,
Yes.
dancing
Yes.
and grooving with us, and it's a huge party, like you said.
And it's a musical comedy, so people are laughing and
The whole
having a good
time. It's so
a
It's
funny.
great show.
And if you
amazing.
notice in our show, we have made some changes. So like the jokes are slightly different. So,
Ooh.
yeah, even if people did see it on Broadway, they should come out and see our version because it is a different version, I would say.
Right.
Yeah.
And everyone just brings such a wonderful, I don't even know.
It's a good energy.
A great energy, and everyone brings something different to the show. So,
Yeah, you have to come see it.
Yes. I mean, the best thing about live theater is even if you've seen a show before, like pre a tour, it's always different. Nothing's ever the same.
yeah, everyone has different interpretations of the exact same character.
And the audience makes it different every night. Like
Yes.
little bits change every single night. No show is ever exactly the same. So do you think that the rehearsal process and rehearsing as a whole cast helps strengthen the bond of the cast pre-opening?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
for sure. I can't tell you how many times during lunch we all were just exhausted sitting on our couch in our rehearsal studio, just talking about life. And it you get to learn about people and you get to talk about different things and just know the person that you're dancing with a little bit better. And then those relationships, they transfer to on stage relationships. And now, you know, we feel comfortable acting with each other or making jokes with each other. It's just, it makes the environment overall better.
Yeah, the very first day of rehearsal, I mean, we all got there early,
Mhm.
already started chatting with one another, and then everyone was brought into the same room. So we had all the creatives, we had the entire cast.
Oh,
Oh,
that's a fire alarm. I forgot they were testing it today. Sorry. Okay.
you're like, wow.
I hope that was it.
I think that was it.
Okay, well, mine works.
It works.
Okay, hopefully that won't happen again. Sorry.
No, you're good. No, it works.
Apartments in Cleveland, so it's like people live here full time. I'm just here temporarily, obviously. So they have like maintenance and stuff that they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
But yeah, we're all pretty close now.
Yeah, and just that first day of all, just we got in a circle, introduced ourselves, and just having that, it was a wonderful introduction to everyone.
Yeah, me and
So-
Megan took a picture on the first day.
You're like, let's, and then you can take a picture like on the like 6 months later and be like, what?
First day. Oh, that was
Like the cute Instagram hashtags, etc.
Yes.
Throwback day versus like 6 months.
yeah, that would be really sweet.
So you all are both understudies too
Yeah.
for the leads in the show, Emma and Alyssa.
Yeah.
When did you all find out this? Did you all find out this when you got the roles? When you got like cast in the show?
It was kind of made clear to us that those were the intentions right away. So for our audition process, we knew that we were being considered to understudy these parts because we got to sing the material of those characters. So I was able to sing Alyssa songs in my audition. I did the Alyssa sides, and then Megan did Emma.
Yeah. For my first couple of virtual callbacks, I had the Emma and Alyssa songs and sides.
Mm-hmm.
And then in person, I had the first day I did Emma and Alyssa. And then my final callback, I was just doing the Emma materials.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So we both were aware that we were being considered for that. And now, like, it's fun because we get to learn the stuff together. So Megan's kind of like my Emma.
Yes.
And we also have another cast member who's understudying
For
both
both.
Emma and Alyssa.
But
Yes.
yes, at the moment we are rehearsing we have understudy rehearsals. So during the day when we don't have a show, we go to the theater and basically run through everything as the other role.
Yeah.
So we got to sing everything together, dance with do the whole show together, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then we worked on it on our own time, which was pretty silly because me and Megan can't take each other seriously. So we're like doing the breakup scene, and then we look into each other's eyes and we start laughing. And it's like, we need to pull it together. What happens if we both go on? Like, so but we're getting the
But it's like different.
Yeah.
It's like different when you're just like practicing and like.
It was when we went on stage to do it in front of our one of our directors, we were fine. Yeah. It's just when we're practicing on our own time that we're like,
yeah, exactly. Because like the friendship is there. Like in 2 months, you all already have a friendship, which is gonna be so important when the time comes for you all both to play the role.
Yeah.
On stage.
Yes.
How do you prepare to go into understudy rehearsals and put your own spin on the characters?
Ooh, well,
yeah. I mean,
everyone has a different process. Like I know you did what are those note cards?
Yeah.
I have like a notebook. So basically we break it down scene by scene. We write down all the blocking. We get a chance to do music rehearsals with the music director. We get to work with the dance captains on their specific choreography. And then it just sort of works out that everyone has their own interpretation of the character anyway.
Yeah.
So what Megan does is completely different than what Kaden does. And that's just because they're different people. So even if Megan was given a specific acting beat that Kaden was also given, it would look different. It would read different. And we get to, just be ourselves through that character.
Right. And I think that's why we're always going to be different, is because we get to bring our own personalities and our own experiences into those characters. And so they're always going to be different.
Yes.
Which is the best thing about live theater, as I previously said, that like nothing, nothing's ever the same. The people who are like hardcore theater fans, the reason they go back to shows is to see like different interpretations of their favorite characters on stage.
Yes.
It's the best. Do you all have any technique for learning basically 2 parts and keeping 2 parts like in your heads? Because that seems just overwhelming to me.
Technique. I don't know.
I think it's important to think of them as 2 different roles, and like if you're rehearsing at home or anything like that, go through one entire track and then switch and do the other track, just so they don't get confused with crossing over. And
I guess the only thing that I would suggest is you have to be organized. So you can't let the notes from one track get mixed with the other track. It has to be very separate. And me and Megan have discussed that it almost feels like 2 separate shows. Because if you think that they're both in the same world, sometimes that'll mess you up. So Alyssa's show is very different than Adriana's everyday show. It's a different track. It's a different life that I get to live that day.
Yeah.
And I don't really tap into, okay, what is the swing going to be doing for me in that moment? Or when I'm on for my ensemble track, it's hard because you're tempted to look at your other character. Like we both struggled with this. We're trying to put the pieces together for the leads. So we're like watching out of the corner of our eyes, but then it affects our performance. So we have to keep it separate. Rehearsal videos are really helpful because then you can like just watch the role that you're understudying or covering. And you just have to separate the 2, I'd say.
yeah, I mean, they're totally different mindsets. I mean,
well, yours is really,
mine is a totally different mindset because I mean, if you think about it, our everyday students don't like Emma,
and then you are Emma.
I'm Emma. So
You're like, okay.
Yeah,
totally different mindset for each of those roles. But
yeah, and it's hard because I see Alyssa during like our PTA scenes, and she has lines. She's like, prom is supposed to be a celebration for all students. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, that's right. And then
But the
I
students
have
are
to be
like,
like, no, and be like so against her when really I have a deep connection to her character and everything that her character is saying. So mentally and physically, you kind of have to like turn it on and off.
Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say that it is kind of like learning two shows and being in two shows at the same time, which is of itself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how like theater performers are so talented. I don't know how I don't know how people do it. But you all are MVPs. Swings are MVPs too.
Oh my
We
God.
have incredible swings.
Yeah.
They're doing an amazing job. And we just had our first principal
Swing on. Yeah. We
Yeah.
had one of the ladies from the women's ensemble stepped in for Dee Dee. So our Dee Dee was out, and then our swing went in for the women's ensemble part. So it was really great. Obviously, the show was very different.
Yes.
Different actress. But it was so exciting. Like whenever we have someone new go on, it's like this energy. It shakes
feels-
up all of Edgewater, Indiana.
It really does.
And
And
we're
we're
like,
like
"Woo!"
opening night.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. Our swings have gone on twice each now.
Yes.
So it's been a lot of fun.
And it's oh wait, no. What you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, even let's see, when our swings went on, it felt like
like a different
it was
show.
a different show. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
I got to
different
dance with like
energy.
the swing and have a different partner. So it's like you're used to doing certain dance pieces with one specific person, but it's just like, oh my God, these swings are so prepared. It feels like I'm with my regular partner, but I get to look at Jordan instead of Caleb. And then it just like, it sparks this energy and just makes it feel so unique.
Yeah.
Almost.
I was gonna ask, have you all done put-in rehearsals yet? Or
First one tomorrow.
So
Right tomorrow.
No, Friday.
Wait, what day is it?
Today is Wednesday.
Okay, we have our first rehearsal on Friday.
So Megan gets to go in for Emma on Friday.
Yeah.
I will still be playing my usual part, but we have another put-in happening in Florida.
Yes.
So after our little layoff, I get to be Alyssa. So what they're doing is they are taking some tracks and putting new people in those tracks and leaving other tracks the same, because you want to get a feel for the show, how it's going to be like every night, just in case you have to go on.
Right. So on Friday, our Barry and our Trent and our Angie will all be the same. And then let's see, the Dee Dee and Emma will be different on Friday. So
And then it's going to be the reverse.
Yeah.
So in Orlando, it'll be different. But we're so bummed that we get to do it together. But it's more realistic, you know, like if Megan has to go on, she probably will be with Kaylin. And if I have to go on, I'll probably be with Kaden. So it is really good practice. We just, you know, have been practicing together this whole time.
fingers crossed as soon as possible that we can go on together.
yeah.
I mean, hey, I saw I worked the Frozen tour at Pantages, and like within like 2 months, I think both the Anna and Elsa went on together for a show in like January. Both the Understudy Anna and Elsa.
It could happen. It could happen.
It could happen. You never know. You never know.
You will know if it happens. It'll be everywhere.
Yes. Post all the slips in the playbill, etc.
Yes.
And like collect all the slips from the theater.
Yes.
Can I have extra? Yes, important. So I have a couple quick questions about the prom. What's your favorite scene in the show?
Scene.
So it can't be a dance number?
It can be a dance number, but that was like a separate thing.
I really like the scene leading into Love Thy Neighbor.
Oh, yeah, that one's really good. Because it challenges a lot.
It does. And I also just think it's fun, that whole scene into the song, you can see all of our characters starting to get a grasp on the whole like story and message of the show. I mean, our minds are totally being I don't know. Transformed. Yeah, that's a great word for it.
My favorite scene is probably Alyssa's coming out scene. The stakes are so high, and she kind of like does it in such a respectful way that her mother can't even be mad at her. She's like, Mom, I know how you were raised. I get what you're saying, but this is me. And that part is just so beautiful to me because, you know, no one's doing this on purpose. No one's doing this just because. Like, people are who they are. And it's like, it brings the whole show together. And that's why I love that scene.
Such a beautiful message. What's your favorite dance number then?
I think mine is You Happened.
I love
it. And You Happened
Yes.
gave me the hardest time during rehearsal. I struggled a lot to learn it and to get it into my body. But now it's like, it's just so much fun. I love the song too. I think that's why.
So good. It's like on
Happened. And I mean, I love all of them.
Well, the prom. The first prom is so much fun, even though we're like dying because it's so hard.
It's so fun.
But like
Oh
to dance in those dresses and like you get to dance with almost everyone and the girls have a section, the guys go off. It's like energy. Yeah. That's the only way to describe it. It's like everyone's energy collectively put together, creating something so awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it looks so hard. I'm not a dancer at all, but it looks so hard. And I don't know how you all do that choreography night after night after night.
That was the hardest one by far.
Oh my goodness. Is it basically just like muscle memory at this point?
Yes, but it's so tricky because a lot of the choreography has multiple accents. It's very detailed. So whenever, a lot of us say this, whenever we take a second to think about what we're really doing, we get lost in the movement because it's like, you can't break it down. You just have to do it.
You just have to do it.
Which is so crazy because I've never really worked like that before. But now it's kind of like an autopilot sort of muscle memory thing for this show because it's so fast.
Yeah.
Have you all like had like people like send in like video, like have you all like had like someone videotape from the show and be like, this is you all like dancing on stage, or like this is you all dancing in rehearsal, and been like, how are we doing this?
Yeah, we've seen some videos and it looks cooler than we think.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
It looks so cool when it all comes together from an audience perspective.
Lighting,
oh my goodness.
Costumes.
Lighting, costumes.
Adds, like other layers to the choreo, but then it's just like when we see a video of us all in sync, we're like, yeah, like it's just this moment where you're so proud of yourself and your team, because we're a team and we're a group, and like our most important piece is like the wedge, probably, right?
Yeah.
The wedge is, I don't know if you know that part, but like it's all of us in a triangle and we do this dance combination where it's really punchy, really fast, and when we nail it, it feels amazing.
Oh, it feels like, yeah. Yeah, one person starts it, two people join in, a couple more people, and then we all finish it out together. And it's just,
and you land on the chorus of the song, and then it's
so
just
good. And there's lights flashing,
and the audience claps, and we're like, oh,
yeah,
team. So Adriana kind of addressed this earlier. How would you all convince people to come see the tour?
Ooh. How would we convince people? I mean, I post a bunch of selfies on my Instagram.
I would convince people by saying, you know, if you want to have a good time and you want to enjoy your night and leave in an awesome mood, then you should come see our show.
If you want to laugh, if you want to feel all the emotions, if you want to see like how someone's perspective changes throughout an entire show. I mean,
if you're open to hearing everyone's side of the story, then this is the show for you.
I also just think that the prom is it allows such a safe place for people to feel welcomed, accepted, loved, and it just provides a safe place for everyone to be their authentic selves without any judgment.
And so, who wouldn't want to go to prom on a Saturday night? Like,
you could dress up.
The energy is so amazing.
Yeah.
And, you know, I love a good theme, and the theme is prom, and you get to see people in beautiful dresses and just dancing their hearts out. And I just think that if you love theater, if you love live performance, then you would love this show.
Yeah. I mean, what's better than prom with a bunch of musical theater fans?
Exactly. Yes. And a wonderful message too. Mm-hmm. So
Exactly. So moving on from the prom for a sec, what's your dream role or dream show to be in?
I don't know. 2 shows that I've always, actually no, 3 shows. 3 shows that I've always wanted to be in. 3.
Let's manifest.
Let's see. Mean Girls.
Ooh.
Hairspray. And Chicago.
Those are
very different, but
those are great. I mean, my favorite show is West Side Story, and I was lucky enough to have been able to play my dream role a couple of times. Yeah. But I want to do it on Broadway. I want to be Anita on Broadway and get to do that every night in the city that I love. I got to do it in Tokyo, and that was like the most amazing experience. But I just feel like my journey with that character isn't over.
Yeah.
So I'm going to continue to pursue that show as much as I possibly can. That's like, it's my family's story. Like, how much more accurate can it get? You know, like, it's just special.
And the revival got cut way too short, but hopefully, I feel like it.
I know. I didn't even get to audition.
I mean, I feel like after people see the upcoming movie, there's gonna be a revival again in the next couple of years. It's gonna be brought back.
West Side Story revival.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be brought back in some shape or form. So, because the movie looks stunning, and people are gonna be like, okay, that show, like, we need it.
Yeah, the movies should be pretty good.
It should be. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it looks stunning.
On Broadway, it was incredible. I mean, it was so different than any other version I had seen, and it was incredible.
That's what I heard. It was like a whole like updated version, and they had like the screens and like all the like water effects and stuff. Oh my goodness.
Such a good show.
It's a shame that it got cut too short. Yeah. I was very heartbroken by that. What's one fun fact about each of you?
Oh, tell your good fun fact.
What? Oh, okay.
Your good fun fact.
Adriana's telling me my fun fact. I was born in Germany.
Ooh. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. My family was there for a little bit. My dad was a surgeon in the army and
casual.
And I don't remember any of it because we moved when I was 1.
But it's still really cool.
Like, I remember 0% of it.
I think my fun fact is that I'm a dog mom. I have a French bulldog named Paco, and he's 1.5. He's almost 2.
So
and he is just like, I love him so much. Me and my boyfriend, we got him during the pandemic, and it was such a positive thing to have this new puppy during such a hard time. And whether he knows it or not, that dog was like my saving grace, because I just was able to focus on him and stay busy and engaged in training him, and like and now I feel like he's my son. Yeah. Like, it's so weird because he's an animal, obviously.
No, but you take care of him.
I get it.
And I love him, and I'm a proud dog mother.
I'm very proud.
Yes, I show pictures. I show everyone pictures every day.
Yes. Oh my God, I totally get it because I'm a dog mom too. And like, I have a female dog, a Jack Russell Chihuahua mix. And she is literally my daughter. Like,
that's so cute. My family, my dad and my mom have a Jack Russell at home. So that, he's a Jackapoo, so he's half poodle. And his energy is like off the walls.
It's
but
so much personality.
So I love Jack Russells. They're adorable.
Yeah. So much personality, and like the Chihuahua mix in my, like, you add that and it's just like a loud dog, but the best kind of dog. Like
Aw.
she thinks her bark is the most beautiful sound in the world, but it's, it's like super high pitched. And you're like, no, stop. But she's the best. I don't know what I'd do without her. So speaking of like like dog pictures and like posting dog pictures and stuff, where can people find you all on social media to see what you all post on social media?
Yeah. So you can find me at _Adriana Negron on Instagram. And if you want to follow my dog's page, it's at paco.bell. So Paco Bell.
Yes.
I tag him on my page. So if you find my page, you'll find his.
Oh my goodness gracious. That Instagram name is so clever.
Yes.
Paco Bell.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I think, let's see, I'm pretty much just on Instagram, but I am _Grosso.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll put the links in the lower thirds and in the description of the video so people can find you all. And also I'll put like your websites and stuff there too.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. So how do you all, to kind of wrap up, how do you all work on self-confidence in this industry? Because it's like, it's such a difficult industry to be in with auditions. And I mean, with social media, everyone compares themselves to everyone else. And you have to like take a step back sometimes and be like, no one's the same.
Yeah. I think the most important thing to think about is that you are going to be unique no matter what. So you need to bring your most authentic self into every room that you audition for. Just be true to yourself. And someone told me, compare and despair. If you start comparing yourself to someone, it's not your true authentic self. So yeah, go in with your personality, do your thing, and someone will hire you because they like your personality or they like, everyone brings something special and unique to the table.
Yeah, I think for me during, when the pandemic was still really at the height, some people were working. And I mean, I'm going to be really honest, like that was hard for me to see. I was jealous and I wanted that to be me so badly. But then I had to take a step back and say, you know what, maybe I'm not getting these jobs right now, but the job that I have was worth the wait. So I wasn't working right off the bat when things came back. It took a little while, but sometimes good things take time.
What's meant for you will find you.
Yes. And every performer and every actor is so different and so specific. Someone can look just like me, but they might be more comedic, or they might have something that I don't have, and then I can have what I have. Like, it's just, everyone's individualized in theater, and that's what makes it so special. So you have to own who you are and love yourself, and then I think that shines through your work.
Yes, those are beautiful words and so true. And in the age of social media, so important to remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we are all just like scrolling through social media, like, oh, what does this person's life look like today?
And something that always stuck with me, someone said, or I read something, it's like, people only post their highlights on social media. So they're never going to post when they're struggling or when they're down, when they don't get an audition. So you're only seeing everyone's goals being accomplished. And that's hard because then you think that that's all that person is doing. They're not going through real stuff. And that's not true. And it's all very surface. And when you get to talk to someone and know like that they've been auditioning for a while, it gives you peace of mind because maybe you were in that same position.
True. So I want to wrap up on a positive, on self-confidence is so positive, but I want to wrap up on like a really high note. What, do you all have anything, whether it's theater related or not, to promote outside of the prom or talk about?
I think right now, just the prom.
Yes.
I'm not home to be working on anything else. So I just would suggest for anyone to just come out, see live theater, even if it's not our show.
Right.
Support the arts. The arts are so
Yes.
important. So just get out there, do research, see shows, go to the movies, like
Or do something from the safety of your own home if that's what you are comfortable with. It's like anything.
There is so much content right now. Like, just remember, like, your favorite shows, those are all actors. Like, those are all people doing the work. So just do research. And when it's your time to get back on stage, like, you'll have more knowledge.
Yeah.
Yes. And I mean, there's so much great art to consume, whether like everyone who's watching should go see the Prom. It is a fantastic show. I haven't seen the tour yet, but I cannot wait to see the tour. Thanks for watching this episode of Backstage with Becca B. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV. Or for more exclusive content from this interview and more, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Backstage with Becca B. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video. Or if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, go ahead and give me a 5-star rating. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.